Hi, how are you? My name's Quinlan. I'm doing a little groove here that sort of goes, could be jazz. Something like that. It was a bit rough, but what I'm doing there is really just working certain kinds of sounds. A man's guts to know his limitations. Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, 1974. I've been using that quote a lot. What it's about, and what I'm talking about here, is I could play a little bit of a groove, and previous episodes I've talked about the importance of the hi-hat, and on here I've got it on the ends. Jazz. Double time, as you see. Now, talking about limitations, what I mean by that with this particular thing is the fact that, did you notice that all I'm using is the hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum, floor tom, and a ride cymbal. Then the other thing I want to show you is the other limitation, where I'm starting off perhaps with the rock beat, but when I go into jazz, these little these little figures that I'm doing are based on two sticking patterns, you see. Now, I'm giving this little jazz rhythm a bit of a kick up the backside, okay? As Frank Zappa said in 1975, jazz is not dead, it just smells funny. And what happens is there's a lot of staid kind of thought patterns around jazz, when jazz once was the most vibrant art form in the world and wonderful. And then you go and do a jazz gig, and thumb on the back of your neck, you get whiplashed, you know, that double time swing. Oh, you want me to do double time swing now, don't you? I'll do it next week. I'll practice up. I'm too old for this stuff. Anyway, but before you get whiplashed, I just want to show you a couple of things. Now, there was a drummer I loved. He was so funny. He plays blocks of cheese these days, but he's a European jazz drummer by the name of Han Bennick. And he was on an album. I have a dark past of really liking avant-garde jazz. Anthony Braxton, late John Coltrane, where it was crazy, you know, that kind of thing. Dave Holland, early Chick Corea, all this sort of stuff, and getting right out there, you know. Miles Davis in that latter period, in the late 60s, before he turned super funky, he was right out there as well. But one of the things with guys like Han Bennick, who I'd mentioned from a drumming point of view, he came across really bombastic. Like Art Blakey is famous for his bombs, if you know what I mean. That was always one thing when I was coming up. You'd be going... the Art Blakey bombs, bang, bang, sort of stuff with his Art Blakey jazz messengers and things like that. Really pugnacious drumming, that kind of thing. So with this little thing, man's guts to know his limitations is right, left, left. When you put it between a cymbal and a snare drum, you get that. So put the bass drum in. Now, of course, I could go Mr. Bonham. And of course he was doing it with his bass drum. All this sort of stuff as well. But I'm sort of more getting into a jazzy thing here. Now that little frill is right, right, left. Now one of the things that can happen with this is that if you have right, left, left, the main beat is on the crotchets, if you will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just play the bass drum and hi-hat 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, left. Now I'm going to put in a right, right, left. See? So. Now I'm thinking more like Buddy Rich, really. I used the extra floor tom. Sorry about that. Hans Bennick, bombastic jazz. Do you see how that happens? I never get a gig again. Okay, back from the break. I'll see you when I am back from the break. I'll talk about this a little bit more.